begin to look at this, let's take our first step in the test. If you'll turn your page to the test page, look at question 1. It says, moment 1, discover your core. Do you know who you are and what you stand for? Have you consciously and clearly identified what you stand for? What gives your life meaning? Do you have a written mission statement of the values and the principles you choose to live your life by, and do you read it? Would you please score yourself for who you are right now? 1, doing poorly, 10, doing great. And in the top line where it says write in, because when you know who you are and you've discovered your core, what that does is it gives you purpose. If you'll go ahead and turn your test back. Now keep in mind that we did say that these moments of truth are what? Progressive, that they're sequential, they're progressively more difficult. What else? More empowering. What else? Within your own circle of influence, and they're deep within you. All right. The second moment of truth is about commitment, and the commitment is to your core principles and values. It becomes a roadmap. It becomes the radar. But it's a commitment to the core principles and values that you have established for yourself. Somebody was talking to me at break, and I said, do you have a mission statement written down? And she says, no, I've got a pretty good idea of where I want to go. Well, that'd be like if we have a pretty good idea of how we're going to get to New York City, but we don't have a roadmap. If you don't have it written down, then you're not committed. You're sort of committed. But I want to tell you, as soon as you get that roadmap out, you get there real fast. Because the values have been aligned. And the commitment then shows up as to whether you are committed or you are not committed to those values. If you really think back to almost all great leaders, whether it's been political or whether it's been religious leaders, they've all had commitment to their core values. One leader in particular that stands out in my mind is Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc, an interesting young woman, 16 years old, had auditory message of how to win a battle in France. How and which of the battles should she fight, and how should she lead those battles? A 16-year-old girl walked up to this general, and she went to the Battle of Orleans, which she knew if she won that one battle, it would change 100 years of domination of Great Britain over France. A 16-year-old girl. The general said, excuse me, you're just a young girl? She said, no, I know that this is the way it needs to be. Now let me tell you that that general came back and said to her, I'm sorry, no one's going to want to follow you. She said, that's fine. She said, I will lead and go right into that battle, and I will not be looking back to see who will be following me. As you know, she did win the Battle of Orleans, and she not only won the Battle of Orleans, but this 16-year-old girl turned over a government 100 years of domination because she believed in what she heard. In other words, her intuition told her what to do. Her inner voice. Now, after the entire whole battle and everything had happened, she was picked up as being a witch. She was told that she was a witch, and because she heard voices, that there must be something wrong with her. And she was told at that time, if she had not and would not recant her story of the words that she told, even though she had won the battles on which battles to fight and where to fight them, even though she had helped this government, if she didn't recant her words, she would be burned at the stake. And she said, put the fires before my feet. She said, I don't care if the fires are right on my toes. They said, fine. And they strapped her to the pole. And there the fires came to her feet, and they said, you have one last chance, Joan, to change the words that are coming out of your mouth. And she said this. She said, Every man gives his life for what he believes, and every woman gives her life for what she believes. Sometimes people believe in little or nothing. Nevertheless, they give up their life to that little or nothing. One life is all we have, and we live it as we believe in living it, and then it's gone. But to surrender what you are and live without belief, that's more terrible than dying. That's even more terrible than dying young. And she was burned at the stake. Now, I don't think many of you have been physically burned at the stake for having beliefs. But what we are seeing is a revolution in this United States of America because women have moral character. And they are standing up for what is ethically right, and there are times that we feel that we're being burnt at the stake. Is it not true? It doesn't mean that we're going to be burned at the stake, but if we do not believe and we do not stand up for what is right, we're going to see the demise of America. We do make a difference, just like Joan of Arc did make a difference. Sometimes when we think about commitment, when we go into that moment of truth, sometimes we make a commitment, but what we haven't done is we haven't really made a decision. And I picked up some my spiritual reading this morning. I was picking this up, and it was interesting because today's reading was about what stops you. It says worry or decision. And listen just how it happened to fit into the speech today. It says, note this about worry. Worry is a false mental action that reaches no decision. When the mind reaches a decision, all worry stops. Isn't that true? When you finally have made a commitment, when you've made a decision, all worry stops. This was written by W.F. Keeler. The writer of this particular piece says, when I first read this, I thought that this man was oversimplifying. After simply applying it to a few situations and became satisfied, he was not. We only worry when we haven't decided what to do. As soon as we decide it's true, all worries stop. If worry starts up again, it's because we're questioning our own decision. We're questioning our own commitment. We're back at not knowing what to do. We haven't completely made that commitment to our core principles. Our lack of worry around a decision thus displays our degree of commitment to that decision. You might want to just put a note down, worry or decision.